with clear. We can clear our console. Next, we can type the command pwd to see where we are exactly now. We are in the home directory, and the server admin is the current subdirectory. We can change to the home directory by typing cd and 2 dots. And now with the ls, we can list the content of this directory. -la will give us more details about the files. We can browse through the commands we've set with the up and down arrow. So if we press the up arrow, we're going one command at a time up and down. We're coming to the latest command we just executed. If we type history, we can see all the commands we have executed so far. We can also search inside of the history by typing history and then grep, for example, the command pwd, and we see all the occurrences within the history related to this command. Let's clear the console once again. We can see all the options of the ls command by typing ls --help, and this is true for all the commands we are using. Since it happens very fast, we can use the pipe operator and then more, so we can see pages one by one, and we can scroll either with enter, which will give us one by one scrolling through the information, or with space, which will scroll with one whole page. Another useful command to take a look is man. So if we type man ls, this will give us the full help information over this command. So it's very good if we are looking for all the options and available usage patterns. We can create file by using the touch command. So we type touch and then let's say new file.txt. And we see that here we cannot create files under this directory home. But if we go to our directory server admin and repeat the touch command, we see that by using ls, the file will be here. So far, the new file will be 0 bytes. But actually, we can use the editor to enter inside the file and enter information. This editor is called nano. Of course, we would like to start nano with the name of the file. So we type nano new file.txt, and here we can type hello, how are you? With Control and O, we can write the file, and with Control and X, we exit from the editor. If we type right now ls -la, we can see that the file is 19 bytes, and we can list the contents of the file by using the cat command. So we type cat new file.txt. The next thing we would like to do is to find certain piece of information in this file and to save it into another file. This can be done by again using the same command, and afterwards, so we use this command to grep. We would like, for example, to grab the hello word, and then after we find this word, we would like to save it in a new file called output.txt. If we see our directory right now, we see the new file output.txt. Let's see what's inside. We see our search string has been saved inside of this file. If we would like to remove this newly created file, we would just type rm and the name of the file, so it's output.txt. When again we list the directory, we see that the file has been deleted. Next we have the zip command. So far it's not installed in our distribution, but we can just use the command apt to install it. So we type sudo apt install and then zip. We'll contact with internet, we'll grab this package, and now we are asked whether we'd like to install it on the system. We see that not only zip but unzip also will be installed. Those two files are important for managing archives, and we'll look in a second how to deal with them. If we would like to create an archive containing all the files from this directory, we can use just the zip command and then -r. Let's say we'll create a folder.zip. Next, we will have to specify which files we would like to include inside of our archive. Let's say we would like only to place this new file .txt. And when we take a look at the contents of our directory, we see folder zip is the new archive. Of course, we can use unzip, and when specify the archive name, we are one by one unpacking the files from the archive. Since we have only one file, which is called newfile.txt, we are asked whether we would like to overwrite the already existing file within our directory. For now, we don't want to touch it, and that's how we can easily work with zip files. There is one important file within the Ubuntu Server Edition, which is called syslog, and it's placed in the directory var log. So if we go to this directory var and then log, we can see that we have a lot of files in there. Most of the programs and servers, while they are installed, and they write two files residing in this directory. We can see here the syslog file, and we can get the information from there. So we can type cat syslog. A lot of information we can see. By the way, the same information can be reached by typing the message command with a little bit of highlighting. If we would like to grab only the latest information from this file, we can just type tail, and then we'll specify the file syslog. And we see several rows, the latest rows from the file. Wherever something else happens in the system and it's logged in this file, the tail command automatically will output it for us. With Ctrl+C, we can stop the execution of the tail command. Now we go to our home directory, and we see the contents of the directory. Next thing we would like to do is to create a new directory. So by using mkdir and then let's say new dir, we are creating a new directory, and it can be seen here. We can enter inside of this directory with the cd. Let's see how we can copy a file into this new directory. We can just use the command cp, then type new file.txt. This is the source file name, and now we have to specify a destination where we would like to put the file name. We will specify new dir with the trailing slash. So when we go to a new dir, we can see that our file is there. And this way we have two copies of the file in the two directories. If we go again to the new dir and remove the new file, we can have another case in which we would like this new file to be moved from this current directory to the new dir. So we will have only one copy of the file. The procedure is the same. We would just use the mv command, then specify the new file txt and where we would like to move it. So new dir. We can also specify a new name of this file if we want, but for now we'll leave it like this. If we go and type ls this time, we see that the file is not in the current directory, but when we go to the new dir, we see the file appeared here. From the listing, we see that we have a lot of files with a dot in front of them. This means that they are hidden files, so they will not show in the normal listing. That's why we are using the LA option after the ls to show those files. If we would like to show only specified files, we can use ls and then we can specify, for example, .b and then a star. So this will show us all the files starting with dot and then b. The star matches everything, so all types of characters after the b. We can try using the rm command with the star parameter. This should be able to remove all the files, and we see our folder zip is removed from this directory. But inside of a new dir, the command has not removed anything. If we would like to remove this, we'll type rm star and then we'll specify the parameter -r. Once again, this will recursively enter into the directory, remove all the files, then remove also the directory. Of course, I advise you to be careful with this command because easily you can delete a lot of files and directories, and then the recovering is a little bit harder. Next thing you would like to see is the file named etc password. So usually in the directory etc, if we go there, most of the configurations of the system programs or the services installed in this server are saved inside of this directory. We can see on the file password. This file contains all the usernames and link to their passwords in our system. Let's try to read the password and file and try to grab the information about our current user called server admin. So we'll just type cat password and then with grep we'll grab the server admin. Okay, this is the line specifying the user and then which groups it belongs, what is our real name, and then we can see the home server admin is our home directory, and of course what kind of shell we are using. This time we are using bin bash. All right, let's create a new user. So we'll use the adduser command, and we see that only root can add or modify users and groups on this system. Since we are not with root privileges, we will use the sudo command to escalate our privileges, and then we will type adduser. We will type our password now. The next thing we would like to do after adduser is the name of the user we would like to create. So let's type user1, and this automatically creates the user, creates a group with the same name, and also creates a home directory for the user on our hard drive. Now it asks us for a password. It will be the same as the username. And here's some information about the user. And now we are ready. If we go back and check etc password and take the information about this user, so grep user1, we see that we have one new record inside. Okay, we can also go to this home user1 directory, and we see all the files here. If we try to create a new file inside of this directory, we will see that we don't have permissions, because with W we can see that our user is server admin. And if we go with ls-la, we see on the third column the user who owns all the files on this directory and has a right to work with them. In this directory, only the user one will have permissions to create files and folders. So we are not such user. One way to circumvent this is to use the sudo command before creating the new file. So you can type sudo and then creating the file. And now if we go and see, we see that the file has been created by root, because the root has ultimate permissions, and root basically can read and write and execute from every location on the hard drive. Let's now explain the contents of the output of this command ls. So first we have the permissions for the current object. It might be directory or file. The next column shows what kind of object it is, so file, directory, or any other link. The third column shows the owner of the file or its creator, then it's the group where the file belongs, and then is the size of the file name, the date of last modification or creation, and last is just the file or directory name. We can change the owner of the file. For this, we can use sudo chown, and then we specify the owner. Let's say that we are specifying server admin as an owner, and for the group, we'll leave it root, and then we'll change this for the new file.txt. Right now, we are the owner of this file, so it's no longer user1, and when we type nano new file.txt, we'll be able to write, for example, from server admin, and then write the file and exit. We see that it's possible to write into this file. The same way we can change the group of the file by using chown. Let's type user1, and then the name of the object we would like to change. This way, right now, the file will be owned by user1, and the group where the file belongs is also user1. Next thing we would like to discuss is the information we find in the first column. First, it starts with whether the object is a directory or file, this D letter. Afterwards, we have 3 groups of RWX. So first are the permissions of the owner of the file, then are the permissions of the group, and then of all the other users. In our particular case, we can see that since we belong with the server admin user to the others, we can only read from this new file.txt. So we cannot, for example, remove the new file.txt because we have no permissions. And we are looking at the last 3 permissions, RWX. This file, it has only the R letter. If we use the command chmod, and then we can just target the others and then type plus write permissions, and this will be for the new file.txt. If we take a look right now, we see that we have write permissions, and actually we can delete the file if we want, or append information to it. So we can check this with nano new file.txt, and we write, and we can list the contents of new file.txt. We see that everything is possible. So not only by changing the owner of the file, but by changing the permissions to the others, we can also have access to this file. Okay, we can use chmod, and then we can target the user, the group, and the others, and we can give them maximum permission, so we can give to all of them a read, write, and execute. And then we'll target the new file.txt. Now, if we take a look at the permission, we see that all the columns are full. This means that everyone can read, write, and execute this file. Every user belongs to a primary group. We can create new group where our users belong by using the command addgroup and then new group. If we see from etc group, these are all the groups, and the last record is actually our new group. Just before this, we can see our new user also has its own group. On its creation, a group is automatically created with its name. Now we can type ID, and we can see for the server admin towards which groups we belong. Let's add another group which we just created towards this user. So we will use the command usermod. We'll type sudo usermod -j, and we will type the new group here, and then server admin as the user. So this should add the server admin towards our group. So if we take a look at etc groups, we see that server admin is a member towards the new group. Actually, we have to log out in order for the ID to show this new group here. So we will just type exit here and then log in again. When we type ID, we see that we are a member of also a new group. As we see with the ID command, we are also a member of the new group. But since we used global G, actually we erased all the other secondary groups and we added only this new group to our server admin. He was a member of sudoers group, which can access the sudo command. Now, if we type sudo and type correct password, we see that we are not in the sudoers file, and this incident will be reported. Let's see how we can correct this. We have to reboot the system in order to restore our ability to be inside of the sudo users group. So while rebooting, we'll enter into the advanced options for Ubuntu and we'll go to recovery mode. And from here, we will click on root. So we can have a root shell towards our system. Now we'll mount our system. Mount, read and write. And we'll mount the root partition. This way we are mounting the root system in read-write mode. The next thing, we'll just try to add user server admin to the sudo group. Press enter. The user is added. If we cut the group file, we see that the server admin is inside. All right, now we'll have to exit from this prompt and resume the normal boot of the system. So when we are logging up here and type sudo su, we were able to get into root shell. This is an example how we should be careful of using the usermod command. The safest way to use the usermod command is not exactly -j, but -ja. So this way we are appending the new group towards our user. So we can do the same for user 1. And this way we can grab the information from etc group and parse it with the grep towards the user 1. We see that it's a member of a new group. Also, we can add with the previous command the sudo group for this user. So once again, user 1 will be able to log in as a root this way. We can remove the user from a group, so we can just type sudo del user and then the username, so user 1, and then the group name, for example, sudo. And now user 1 is not belonging to the sudo group anymore. We can also remove a group, so type del group, user 1. We cannot remove primary groups. We can remove only secondary groups. So we created one secondary group, which was called new group, and we can delete it this way. If we check our etc group and check for this new group, it doesn't exist. So all the users which belong to this group, it's automatically removed from them too. Next, we'll take a look at package managing in Ubuntu server. First, packages can have different extensions. So we have RPM packages, Debian files. Also, we can have source packages which are archived with tar.jz or bzip compressed archives. System packages, as well as user-contributed packages, are being stored in repositories, and the links towards those repositories, which are servers in the internet, are kept in a file in our etc directory in apt, and then we have sources.list file. If we enter into this file, we can see that, for example, Debian packages can be used from this archive here. We have updates also, backports, security packages for the different versions and distributions of Ubuntu here. All right, if we type sudo apt update, and type our password. Those URLs which we saw, they'll be checked if new packages are being released in the meantime in there, and we'll grab them, and the apt command will install those new packages. So with apt update, we are just updating our package database, and we can upgrade our package database with sudo apt upgrade. And we see that this IRQ balance package needs to be updated. We press yes, and first we're fetching the package from internet. Afterwards, we're installing it into our system. Next thing we would like to take a look is how to install a third-party package distributed not directly within the installation of Ubuntu server. So we'll install nmap package. We'll type sudo apt install and then the package name nmap. And we see that first a lot of libraries will be installed. Additionally, afterwards the nmap can be installed. So those libraries are needed for the successful functioning of the nmap command. And now if we type nmap, we see that the command is being installed. Also, just because we are working with Debian packages, we have a Debian package manager. So we can type dpkg and -i and typing nmap afterwards. Of course, with sudo in front, we'll see that we don't have access to this archive. Let's see what we have installed in the system with -l, and then we'll grab nmap. We see that we have installed the latest version of nmap. We can also remove a package. One way is via the apt command, so we can just type apt remove and the package name. And this will delete the command nmap, but will save its configuration files. If we want to remove everything from this command, we'll just type apt purge. So apt purge nmap will delete everything. The same can be achieved with dpkg. We'll just type sudo dpkg -r and here nmap as a package, and it will be removed. And of course, with p, we can remove also the configuration files from this command. And now we'll see how we can run services on our computer. We'll start with ssh, so this secure shell. We can install it via sudo apt install open ssh server. We type our password. We can see the OpenSSH server will be installed. First it has to be downloaded, then some ports have to be opened from our firewall to be able to communicate with the outside world, or other computers to be able to connect with us. And this is the port 22. And we see now the server is being installed. Let's see how we can test the connection. Since we are in a virtual environment, we need to connect to our VirtualBox machine. So we go to the VirtualBox settings, and for our server and the settings for the network, we'll click on port forwarding, and then we'll set up our port forwarding in a way that whenever we are connecting from the host machine to this port 2222, it will forward this connection towards our virtual machine to port 22. In this way, we'll be able, from our host machine, to connect to the guest or the VirtualBox machine where our Ubuntu server resides. Of course, for this, you have to know the address of your card. So it is 10.0.2.15. And now we'll try to connect from outside towards this address. We'll open up a console. And in this console, since the port forwarding is enabled, this is on our host computer, we can just type SSH -L, and then we'll type our user server admin, and then we'll type the IP address. Since we are connecting via port forwarding, we said that we'll connect to local hosts, and -P will connect to this port 2222. This all is just because we managed to establish those port forwarding rules. So we are actually connecting towards this host and port, and it will be forwarded to our guest machine and its SSH port. Let's see now if the connection can be established. We see that we have an error that the identification of the remote host has been changed. This is because earlier on I tried to connect using those settings. So the easiest solution for this is just to remove the previous information via this command here. This is because SSH creates several known hosts with their authentication keys. And right now I removed the line from those known hosts. And if I try to connect again, we see that we'll be able to connect. Do you want to continue connecting? We type yes. And now we have to type the password of the remote machine. And we see we are inside of our Ubuntu server box. We managed to log in. If we type W, we see that we have 2 users connected, and one is via TTI, so this is the main machine, and one is via this console here from this IP address connected. All right, let me just increase the size of the console so we can see easier what's going on here. So we are continuing with the installation of packages. As we saw, we can use apt to install packages. Now we'll try to install Debian packages. So this is one browser which will enable us to browse the internet when we are having only console access. We'll get the Debian file using wget command. So this is path to the Debian archive. And we see wget is fetching the data. After this, in the current directory, we'll see the file links is here. So the next thing is how to install it. We'll type sudo dpkg -i and the name of the package. Next, we'll see how we can install packages which are coming from source files. For this, we'll have one prepared download link towards the nmap command, which is a network scanner. And with wget, we'll fetch the nmap. So we'll download it from its source. Since it's an archived project, we will first have to extract the files out of it. So we'll type tar -xvf and then the name of the archive. This will create one directory and we'll put all the source files inside. So we can go to the directory. All right, now that we have the source files for this program, we have to compile it. And before running the compilation, we'll prepare the environment by installing compilers, which are placed in the built-in essential package. So this will install C++ and G++ compilers, as well as other libraries. And when we are ready with their installation, we can proceed towards the configuration and installation of the nmap. All right, the libraries are being installed, and now we have to run the special configure script. So this will check whether our libraries are present and our environment, and configure the installation of the whole program so it will be suitable for our environment. This way we are not providing a whole package with a binary inside, so we can just start the binary which is already pre-compiled for certain environment and libraries. We are building everything from scratch. So this is actually the configuration process right now. The next thing we would like to do is to run the make command, which will take this predefined configuration, especially for our server, and based on the configuration and the provided options, we'll try to compile the program from its source. So it will include a lot of header files. Programs usually use header files and other libraries from additional providers. That's why in the compilation, all the needed functions are being extracted from those libraries. And in the end, actually, we're striving to compile the program into a binary, which can be executed under our environment. All right, the installation has finished. Now, the last thing we would like to do is to again run the command make, but this time with the sudo privileges. And as an argument, we will type install. So this will grab all the already installed packages and put them into their respective paths, so the programs can be started more easily from us. And we see that nmap is successfully installed. We can type nmap, and actually we see the latest version is successfully installed on our system directly from its source.